What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what you should be doing to prepare for upcoming tournaments. Should you be playing Arena? Should you be playing Scrims? I'm going to go over all that in this video, so let's hop straight into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is what should you be spending your time on. Cash cups don't start for another few weeks, and as most of you know, there's not much to do right now, so what do I recommend doing? Well, the first thing I recommend doing is taking a break. Play other games. Most of your guys' school has started, so catch up on your late assignments, so when tournaments do start, you won't have to worry about any of that stuff. The next thing I recommend doing is getting used to all the new POIs and all the new weapons. Land at all the new POIs 10 times, learn where all the floor loot spawns are, learn where all the chests are, because even if you're not going to be landing there, you're still going to be running through there a lot, and knowing where everything is going to give you a huge advantage. Now, if you're the type of player that only uses the pump and refuses to take the lever in the charge, take 1 week and force yourself not to use the pump that whole week. Maybe take 2 days and only use the lever, and then the next 2 days only use the charge, because the more you play with them, the better you're going to get. At first, you're probably going to die a lot, you're probably going to get frustrated and want to go back to using the pump, but trust me, getting used to them now is going to set you up really nicely in the long run. Now, if you really want to take competitive seriously and you're wondering why you aren't placing in tournaments, it's probably because you aren't playing scrims or you aren't playing them enough. I personally have never played scrims. I've always just grinded arena, and I thought that was good enough for tournaments. I would always do well in early and mid game, but the second I got to end game, I had no idea what to do. I would always panic, and the truth is, stacked end games are pretty much an entirely different game. The only thing that carries over from arena to stacked end games is aim, and I'm finally realizing that now. If you really want to take your placements from top 2,000 to top 500, you have to play scrims. If you have no idea where to find scrims, just look up Fortnite scrim servers and then your region. So if you're on EU, look up Fortnite scrim servers EU. Same for any other region. Make sure you record your scrim games as well, because just playing scrims and not actually VOD reviewing them is not going to do you any good. If you don't take away anything from them, there's pretty much no point in playing them. If you don't know how to VOD review them or you don't know what to be looking for, I'm probably going to make a video on that, so keep an eye out on that. Another thing that's going to help you out a lot is watching pros. Now, I don't just mean turn on your favorite streamer stream and half watch it. I mean watch one of their tournament highlights and actually pay attention. One thing that's really helpful is comparing their games to your own. While you're watching the video, pretend you're the one playing, think about what you would do. Maybe your first instinct would be to do a big edit and you see them do a right hand peek. Write that down, jot down things that you see them do that you normally wouldn't think of, because once you start comparing their games to your own, you're going to start incorporating some of their habits into your games, which is going to really help you out a lot. Now, obviously not everything they do is going to be the absolute best play, but they are pros, and most of the time, especially in tournaments, they're going to be making the right move. Now, as I was talking about earlier in the video, now is the best time to get used to and practice new things, but it's also the best time to practice your weak points. For most of you, creative is your best friend right now. I know personally I've just been sitting in creative for way more than I normally do, just kind of freebuilding and hanging out with my friends, and while I am still improving, I'm not being as optimal with my time as I could be. Creative is obviously the best and fastest way to get better at certain aspects of your game, so instead of freebuilding for an hour, figure out your weak points and focus on those things. You should always practice your aim. I recommend taking at least 20 minutes a day to focus on your aim. I usually spend 30, and everything else should be prioritized by what you're good at and what you're bad at. Obviously, not everyone has the same weaknesses and strengths, so I can't give one routine that's going to work for everyone, but spend the most time on things you're bad at and the least time on things you're good at. If I were to give a routine, I would recommend practicing your aim for 30 minutes, and then either piece control, building, or editing for 15 minutes, whatever you're struggling with the most. Then I would play solo arena for a little bit. You can play duo or trio arena, but solos is going to be the best for improvement. 2 to 3 days out of the week, I would play solo scrims, and if you have a trio and are trying to do well in FNCS, I would definitely play trio scrims for at least 2 days out of the week. After all of that, I would VOD review for a little bit, VOD review your arena games, and especially your scrims, and then look over pros gameplay like I just talked about. I know for some of you that sounded like a lot, and some of you might only have 1 to 2 hours a day to play, but that's just what I recommend, and you can change it up if you want. The final and most important tip I have for you guys is to step out of your comfort zone. I know I kind of already talked about this with using levers and charges, but you can also do this with different playstyles. If you're a passive arena fighter and you don't like to take a lot of fights, only W key for a whole arena session. If you always box up and start a box fight in your arena fights, build battle everyone you see for a whole arena session, and vice versa. During scrims, you play mid ground every single game because you're comfortable there and you consistently get top 5, go high ground every single game of a scrim session. Some games it's probably going to be the dumbest play and it's going to get you killed, but you will learn so much, and once you get used to it, you'll start winning games instead of getting top 5. I personally think that people that step out of their comfort zones and start learning a bunch of different playstyles and techniques now are going to be dominating in the future because no matter what situation they get into, they'll be ready for it. Not many people are doing this because they're comfortable where they're at. As soon as they start trying new things, they fail and they'll go right back to what they're comfortable with. Set aside PR and placing in tournaments this season and step outside of your comfort zone, because if you can push through the bad placements this season, the great placements will come in the future. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, it would really mean a lot if you left a like and subscribe. I've got a really cool series coming out soon that I think you guys are going to like a lot, so keep an eye out on that. If you've watched my previous videos, you know what time it is. It's time for the keyword, and today's keyword is going to be a brain emoji. So if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to comment a brain emoji so I know who made it this far. With all that being said, see you guys in the next video.